Ну что ж, друзья, мы продолжаем, и помните,
So,
да,
friends,
что это третий
let's
день
move on.
нашей конференции.
I believe you remember that it is the third day of our conference, AI Journey 2021. And I'm sure that in these 3 days you have heard some new and unknown acronyms, terms, words. So the topic of the next hour will be unexpected to you, I believe, as it is ESG. What is it? And why is it so important? And to put it simply, we have asked our special guest, Russian video blogger and owner of the same name channel Wylsacom, and singer and member of Dream Team House Makha Goryacheva.
Всем привет, ребята! Я Makha Goryacheva.
Hello, guys! I'm Makha Goryacheva, and let's start our blog for you, you and you. We will spend time brilliantly and learn how we can help our planet. If you follow my TikTok, you know that I very often talk about responsible consumption. If you do not follow it, we will talk about it in detail together with a person who has unpacked everything. Wylsacom. Hello, here I am, Uncle Vaga. We will talk about very important things today. At school, we learn different sciences, but today we will talk about how to improve our world and make our planet cleaner. Who is responsible for the planet around? That is superhero of tomorrow, and we would like this superhero to be larger in numbers. And it is on us that the world of tomorrow depends on, whether it will be a desert or whatever else out of sci-fi. And today we will come up with a joint digital art object with the help of AI and unpack many things and win some prize. And if you can follow us from a laptop or PC, do that, because you will need your mobile phone for competitions and games. Let's start with an art object, but for it to turn up, we need you to follow this QR code and send us images of nature, flowers, mountains, everything that inspires you. An apple, for example, and at the end we will see what comes out of it. I do not know how it works, but that holds the future, and you will receive a digital copy of this object. And following this QR code, you can also share a story with us, how you improve the world, whether you sort out waste, whether you help volunteers, whether you help animals. So share your stories, scan the QR code and share it with us. I would also share a couple of stories with you, but before that, with the help of AI, let's you know what? We can do a lot of useful things. For example, Sber has come up with technologies that can forecast natural disasters, you know, and even diagnose illnesses, help in agricultural crop planning, and calculate CO2 emissions. And what useful things can we do? People with ordinary intelligence, I would put it like this. Let's unpack. What do we have there? Let's have a look. So, as I'm a person that is pretty used to unpacking, I would give you a chance to do it. Let's start with this box, and it will be a surprise to us. Let's discuss how we can responsibly treat life on our planet. You know, we need to forget about discarding everything, not thinking about everything, and throwing out waste the way it happens. So let's see. Okay, here we have 2 bottles. Let it be yours, and this will be mine. So the way I feel it, it's just a plastic bottle, nothing very interesting. But you know, guys, there is a trend in the vogue now, and we all are fans of that. The main idea of it is zero waste. Do you know what it is? That is zero waste. That is when you take a plastic bottle and you have drank water out of it and you have thrown it away, and that is awful. That is impractical. You can replace it with these great devices that you can decorate and make nice. And actually, there are garbage patches in the ocean made of plastic, because everybody is throwing this plastic away irresponsibly. So it's great to replace it with bottles like this. And furthermore, plastic can not cannot degrade. That's why it is truly a problem. Therefore, recycle is our future, because on the 15th of November, next Monday, we're going to have the World Recycle Day. So if you needed a signal to start throwing away waste responsibly, you can start now. You can recycle, you can send it to recycle. Plastic is the most horrible thing that our planet can experience, because there is really huge piles of plastic. It is toxic. It takes long to degrade, but it looks pretty nice. You know, for you to understand, this is not cool. And multi-use bottle that you can decorate for yourself is cool. And you can see media people, athletes, and people that communicate with audience a lot now, carry their own bottles, their own cups. And being a high-tech person, I have several high-tech cups, and they tell me, have a sip out of it, and that is great, that is cool. And by the way, we need to popularize this story in social media. And recently I've seen a very interesting bird challenge, Save Your Planet. And followers threw waste to their friends, bloggers, and they threw it into the rubbish bin. And it was pretty nice, because we love getting knowledge in an updated manner through TikTok and challenges of this kind. And I am sure that there have to be more challenges of this kind, and I will shoot one myself as well. Yes, you are right. We consume some interesting information through different channels today, and the fact that companies make waste disposal and recycling popular, well, that is truly critical. Yes, it is not by chance that we started with plastic, because that is significant. Let's have a look at the second box. It looks like they've prepared a lot of surprises to us, so we need to respond to them and understand what it has to do with ESG. Well, at first sight, it's not clear. There are piles of everything. Let's show it to our audience. So there is this cup of this kind. There is this kind of cup with the tea bag. There is an apple. Don't know why it is here. And there's some kind of metal. I start, I believe, getting at it. Let's sort it by categories for it to be useful. There are batteries here. You see, batteries are packed in plastic just to make all the things worse. So, let's start with batteries, as I have just voiced them. Guys, you might not know that, but batteries is the really most terrible things, because annually Russia throws away around 1 billion batteries. It's even hard to imagine that number, 1 billion batteries. Can you imagine that? Because we use them in all domestic appliances, actually, and not many think that you cannot throw away batteries with ordinary waste. There is a special disposal for that. So what should we do? Usually there are specially targeted containers that you can find and take the batteries that you have used to dispose of them there. And Europe pays more and more attention to it. If you, for example, do not see a container of that kind to your place, it's not hard to organize it. You can place some box and write a note that it is for batteries, and then you can take it to specially designated place, and you will help the planet immensely. Yes, I also hear that if you throw batteries away together with ordinary waste, around 200 square meters of our planet is polluted. Out of one battery, can you imagine that? One small battery can result in so many problems. Yes, it pollutes earth and water, so it's truly horrible. So we should remember that we need to dispose of them separately. Our next stop, let it be the sponge. I got it, why we have this sponge. You can see there is this silicone sponge and ordinary one. So today we say that we need to do something in a smart and intellectual manner, and in waste recycling AI is applied, and if we sort out waste, then it is additionally sorted out and everything is good. So here we have a sponge that is a bad sponge. Why do you think it is bad? I don't know, it can wear fast? Yes, exactly. You need to replace it all the time. And zero waste and all this eco-friendly movement story is not simply about sorting out waste, but about less consumption, less replacement, yes, of used object. So you can take this kind of sponge. It will serve you much longer, and it looks nicer. Yes, this is pretty dull, so that's why people replace it more often. That is another example how we can make our planet cleaner. We just need to responsibly treat the process of buying something. So here we have something that is good, and here something that is bad. Okay, for example, if we would like to have a cup of tea, I have this cup, like people, yes, usually do it. That is a cardboard cup, right? Yes, and we have discussed on that. People think that it is eco-friendly, but it turns out not to be so, because it cannot be recycled practically at all. Well, it's clear that the technologies are advancing all the time, and there are new solutions all the time, so now they can recycle it, but it contains plastic, actually, not to break down. So it is pretty heavy. We have a tea bag. It looks like purely organic, but when you throw it away together, and everybody does it like this, yes, after you have had your tea, you throw it away together. So what can we do to solve this problem? Everything is easy. You can use leaf tea, loose tea, you can brew it in a teapot, and we have a cup of this kind, which is made of eco-friendly material, of recycled something, and it is really great. Your tea will keep warm longer, and you will look beautiful. So, are you using something of this kind? Yes, I have something like this, but I have decorated it as well with my own design, and it is much more handy, because after I learned that these cardboard cups have plastic in them, it occurred to me that I would harm too much if I threw them away all the time. And will you agree that it is easy to replace it? At the beginning, you just don't think about it. Many people are not eco-friendly, not because they are villains, but because they just are not informed, and they have not thought about it. When you speak about it in your videos, I'm sure that it rings a bell with people, and it is becoming more and more powerful with every year on. And next stop, I would like to ask you to tell us about this group of objects. So here we have a plastic bag. Plastic bag usually used in all the stores. Plastic bag, you use it once, you throw it away. That is, with the time, really poses huge problems because of the volume. Here we have an alternative. Have a look. Here is this net bag. They are now in the vogue again, and you can see them even on the covers of glossy magazines. You can go shopping with them, or you can use a shopper of this kind. Instead of taking one plastic bag into another plastic bag all the time, that is already obsolete. So it can be replaced with these trendy things. And all these plastic bags are actually prohibited in many countries of the world. That is biological weapons. You will not be able to go to a store to buy this plastic bag because it is not on sale. And it is also floating in the oceans. It gets to the stomachs of animals there. It pollutes the environment. So that is truly bad. In my hierarchy of environmental horrors, that is in top 3. Plastic bottles, plastic bags, yes, they are there. As soon as we get rid of plastic bags, I believe we will all feel better. The faster we make these bags trendy, and they are made of recycled materials, by the way. Yes, it can be recycled clothes. Sure, you can yourself rearrange your hoodie, for example, into a bag. That is something that I like very much in the modern world, that it is easy to be trendy today. Just you need a wish. And another thing, a T-shirt. It looks like an ordinary T-shirt. What do we do with it? We wear it to begin with. After we stop wearing it, we can simply throw it away, or we can send it to recycling. You might know that there are a lot of locations that accept clothes for recycling, and this T-shirt will get a new life to it. Or if it is in good condition, you can give it to those in need, and importantly, you can solve this puzzle. If you have worn it for a long time, you can think about other applications of it. For example, make a bag of it, like we have said. So I believe that things like this should live longer. Same is true about the newspaper. After you have read it or have used the paper, you usually throw it away, but actually it needs to be sorted, and the new ideas have to think about it. You remember they used to be applied to walls, and as for the walls, I have come up with a wall of plastic bottles. I glued them together and they bounce from each other really very nicely. You know, it's really cool. You can decorate and design your interior out of it. So it all depends on your fantasy, your creativity, your imagination. So when you upload in your mind that you need to reduce the waste that you produce, then you can come up with ideas to prolong the life of the things that you use. The apple is really something that does not go with it all on the table. We're talking about plastic, recycling, and what does apple have to do with it? That is organic. We all know that organic is good. You have eaten it, you've thrown it away, and everything is okay. We all know, on the other hand, that organic, in combination with other waste, produces different unpleasant gases at landmines, and this cannot be recycled. What is the best way to do it? It's better to come up with a compost like we have at our country houses, and it will be a great continuation for future apples that will be offspring of this one, from the seeds of this one. And it would be much better than throwing it away with all other wastes. Yes, and to many that is not an obvious thing, that organic waste should be collected separately, because if you throw it away even with glass or paper, it might seem not bad, but actually that has a negative impact on our environment. And you know, cyclicity is one of the main points of environment.
So write it down and remember, we separate organics from the household waste. And household waste can be broken down into several categories. Metals, that's the rest of our set. We have this metal can, plastic bottle, and we have a glass bottle. And we have a great container here. It's here for a reason. So I'll take this metal cannon. It will go into the bin for metal. The glass one will go into the bin for glass. And this one, the plastic one, you have to separate the cap from the bottle. And not everyone knows this, by the way. There's a program called Good Caps or Kind Caps. Cool name. So you can recycle caps separate from the bottles. To me, that was something new, that you can break a plastic bottle into several components and then have them recycled separately. This is a separate science that needs to be studied as itself. So I think we have explained in no-nonsense terms very simple and obvious things. I used to be an eco-skeptic. I was thinking, well, what can depend on my actions? Well, I can separate waste, but they will not, the people around me. But you can start with yourself, and they are saying this for a reason. And everyone should refrain from, expecting the others to do something instead of them. So start with yourselves. If you start today, your friend will start together with you, and there will be two of you. And so you will feel ashamed for not just throwing waste without sorting the waste. And the third box is about this, I'm guessing. It's a big box, and it's not clear what it contains. This is a nesting doll. Why is it called Matryoshka or nesting doll? No, I don't understand why we have it. Well, this is something that is a symbol of Russia. That's one of the ideas, but today we were talking about the environment and what kind of contribution we could make to preserving and conserving the planet. And it's not just about sorting the waste or consuming responsibly. We need to understand that our countries are populated by people, and we're all different. I'm like this big red doll. Some people are smaller, and we're all unique. And we have got to live in peace with the rest of the world. Well, it's great to pick products by color and shape and separate waste, but you shouldn't really be judging the others by the way they look. So we can say here that the appearance is probably not the most important thing. We're all humans, so what is most important is what are our internal qualities. Remember that, dear friends, and this is something that needs to be kept in mind. And I think all of these dolls are very different. Do unto others what you want others do unto you. That's the golden rule. And that is an indication of how we treat the people around us. And people reciprocate in the same way. And once you've done this, you feel really great. And the fourth and final box is this one. I can only guess what's inside it. Okay, this is a mask. The mask that I will use for separating my waste. I'll act as a superhero. I think we're all superheroes these days, one way or another. Do I like it? Well, I'm like an Avenger. And this is the person that separates the waste. This is what I do at night. I put this mask on, and even if the waste had not been separated by the others, I can do this at night, and then I will go to bed with a clear conscience. Superman. Superheroes for younger people are idols, icons. People want to be like them. And I think the little feats that we do every day separate the waste and treat the environment responsibly, telling people how to change their lives around to be more responsible of this. This is something that is really worth a lot. And we are becoming superheroes of sorts, and this is something that inspires you to perform these feats and deeds. And we've seen several examples that indicate how simple and easy it is to do. So I would like to call upon you to study this topic more and think about it more. And I support you on this. We need contemporary solutions for the contemporary world. And try to investigate this further, dear friends. We've provided you with the information that is very straightforward. There's more of us. The world is changing, and we need to make sure that everyone in this world is living more comfortably and conveniently. And maybe we have just made a tiny contribution to this. And maybe this world is going to be a nicer place, just a little bit, to live in, hopefully. And this barrier-free environment is a separate topic in cities. They are building these new areas where people would feel very comfortable because of the lack of those barriers. There's this concept of inclusivity, where people can use all of the goods that the civilization offers. And this bear, for example, has this app on a smartphone, and this is something that people that are blind can use, visually impaired people can use. It's fairly easy to use, and a relative who can see can help this individual how to learn to use it, and then they would be able to use it and have access to the same opportunities. That's a very unique opportunity. Or the voice assistant. They help you make lots of things happen, and you don't even think about how many steps you have had to go through in the past to get where you need to get. And nowadays it's very easy and fun. Now, let's do some summing up. We've had this interactive section, and going to be looking at the results. Yes, we started with this. We asked you to share your stories with us. How you're helping the environment. How do you do volunteering work helping animals in the shelters? And there's a lot of stuff that you've contributed. Let me connect. And technology is my forte. I'll do my best to match your capabilities. Okay, let's start with this one. I save water, electricity. I understand how much water just gets trickled away, and that's why I wash my hands quickly. I always turn off the light when I leave a room, and I try to use less of plastic. My relatives are laughing at me, but at least I'm saving them utility bills. Okay, they are laughing today. Maybe tomorrow they will feel a little bit ashamed of themselves for being irresponsible. It took me a long time to stop using running water when I'm brushing my teeth, but after some pains and aversion to this, I changed the sound of running water from the tap to the sound of water on my telephone. So that was my solution. Or you could turn on water sounds. It's easy to do without wasting water, and you would still be enjoying your favorite sound. There's a piece on batteries. I always collect batteries separately, and I take them to the nearby store. There's a container there that is transparent, but we don't use a lot of devices that run on batteries other than a couple of remote controls. But this box is always filled, and that means that people are either very responsible or they do not empty it too often. So if you see this box, if you go to the store, why not drop your batteries in that bin, in that container? And if you don't do this, you would feel ashamed. Pangs of conscience, and that's how people get used to it, even if they don't use their batteries a lot. But if you've done this, you have done a lot of good for the environment. I support this. What was new to me is that there are special containers for batteries around. In today's world, I don't use a lot of batteries myself, but in general, that is useful to know. But when you do use something, at least you would remember that. And if you don't use them that much, they don't accumulate that often. You can do this once a year, let's say on the 15th of November, which is the World Recycling Day. You can prepare for that day, collecting those used up batteries, and then you will dispose of them in this container, and that will look quite cool. And you would do a good thing by doing this. So that's all. And your stories are great, and there's a lot of them, but our time is limited. Unfortunately, I would have gone on telling you about these positive things, but we have the pictures that we were supposed to get. Have we stopped accepting photographs? Yes, we have. And now we are waiting for the AI to create our digital art object. And while we're waiting for this, what are we going to do? While we're waiting, we could play a game, a quiz, and then award prizes to the participants. All you need to do is scan the QR code, which you can see on the screen now, or go to the website myquiz.ru, enter this code 246768, and enter our quiz game with questions, and then you would get a sticker pack as a prize and get knowledge along the way. Useful knowledge that you don't come across every day. Indeed, this is going to be very exciting. You're going to be able to test yourselves, test your knowledge, and I had prepared for this. I wanted, in the course of doing our presentation, take a picture of this apple. But it's good I had uploaded this picture ahead of time, and my picture is going to be in this art object. So the quiz is ready. Yes, yes, come on. You haven't entered it, at least not as actively as we would like you to. Fly in. The QR code is here for you. Scan it with your smartphone. Go to the website. If you are using nothing but the smartphone, go to myquiz.ru website, enter this code that you can see on the screen, and join our game. What is going to be the prize? Sticker packs is going to be the prizes that everyone will get. They are unique, and everyone is using them these days, and you will get a whole set of them. And you will get that immediately, an immediate reward. You don't have to wait for it. A very nice bonus for your participation. So scan the QR code, and we will look forward to seeing you at our quiz game. It appears to me that we should try ourselves. I really like to take part in quizzes. It's really a great game when you're in the company of friends, but putting them together is quite difficult. It's great when you can borrow it from someone or get it somewhere, but when you are composing one yourself, it's not easy. And it's really a game, and it has to be smart, intelligent, and you are required to respond quickly. Well, it's one thing when you have the time to think about the answer, but sometimes you have to act quickly and think quickly and pick an answer. Okay. If you cannot scan the QR code with your phone and you don't understand how to do it, go to the website, enter this code 246768, and you will get into our game. They don't need to register. You just authenticate yourself, give yourself a name, and you are in the quiz then, and you'll be able to take part in it. Let's spend a couple of more minutes waiting for you to log in. We want to have as many people taking part as possible, and after that we will be able to distribute those sticker packs. Here they are, and it was not in vain. And we will also tell you about our digital art object. Maybe some of you haven't yet realized what we're going to be doing. We will make a beautiful picture that will be made up of the pictures that you will have submitted. You will send us, or you may have sent us, pictures of different shades of colors, and the AI will assemble a bigger picture out of your small pictures, and most importantly, you will have an ability to download it and take it with you. I think that's a great thing, and you will be able to zoom in if you want to, and you will be able to see every single picture very clearly. Maybe some of your friends sent one in, and you'd be able to guess who's done that. And that'll be your first step. By taking part in building this simple digital art object, you'll be able to really get closer to responsible consumption, waste separation, and all other things like that. Another important thing that I want to talk about is sharing economy. We all have been involved in it one way or another. Maybe we don't know this. Car sharing is one part of this. Everything that has to do with sharing. You may have a car, you drive it maybe once a day, to work and back home. And most of the day, the car just sits there parked. It just takes up space. In sharing economy, you have the ability to share the use of objects. Now we are ready to start. 10 seconds before we start, the final countdown: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Let's start the quiz. I'm going to be reading out the questions, and we'll be doing that together. We'll be seeing what's happening. The first question is, why is the climate changing? Is this because of the greenhouse effect or because of increased temperature of the sun? I would say, well, B is a good option, but I don't think it really influences the climate. But the picture is a tip. The right answer is A. Oh, we still have 10 seconds, and the next one is already on. So the very first one deals with the greenhouse effect. The second one is, what are the dangers of synthetic detergents? They ruin clothes and coatings, and they are not biodegradable. Most of you did the right thing. They answered they are not biodegradable. So you better use the environmental detergents or do it something in a different way. What is one of the most dangerous pollutants of the oceans? I think it's oil. Waste products of marine animals? Oh, well, I don't think this is a good answer. Oil is definitely the answer. We have all heard of those oil spills. Most of you made the right answer. This is quite obvious. We even have some leaders. The next question is, what do you call an organism's way of adjusting to the environment? Adaptation or irrigation? The right answer is, of course, adaptation, and we have almost all of the respondents give us the right answer. And some people who responded wrongly probably just missed the right button. Does the decrease in forest areas disrupt the oxygen cycle? It's evident that no, it's not good when trees get felled and the size of the lungs of the earth get smaller, and so, yeah, some people didn't think that. They're probably not really that familiar with the topic. We only have 2 more questions to go through. Let's see. What does the abbreviation ESG stand for? I really like the first one, the European Syndicate of Gamers. That's probably specifically designed for you, for people like myself. I think the other one sounds more appropriate: environment, social, and governance. In other words, social corporate responsibility and responsible consumption. That's what AIJ is about. And the last question, are there man-made ecosystems? Yes or no? Well, that's a provocative question. Even I had to think about it for a second. Well, you're thinking about a sci-fi movie. Well, of course, yes. We are creating our ecosystem, and Sber has created its own ecosystem that brings together devices, systems, and banking products. Surprisingly, most people said yes, of course. And our participants were really quick. And these are the stickers that our participants will get as an award. We have several winners. I really like the person who got in the 3rd place with this nickname of Dad Inside. And he gives us everything he knows. Well, thank you very much for your participation. And we have some nominal winners. We congratulate everyone. But of course, good job, everyone. You will all get those sticker packs, and you will hopefully appreciate how cool it is. And now it is time for us to take a look at our digital art object. Our AI will have finally completed everything. We'll put it all together. It is thinking. The sticker pack that you've gotten is something that you can download if you use the QR code. Everyone who has taken part in the quiz, go there and download it on your phone and then share it with the world in this digital way. And you will be able to send this message to the world that you need to be friendly with nature.
It's clear that in the near future, You know, another simple idea that occurs to people, why should I think about it? It will be enough for me to live in, and those further generations will try to somehow solve this problem. But that is not responsible. Absolutely. And when you're like irresponsible inside yourselves, it looks differently. And I'm still a teenager, I would say, but it still looks different. And you know, it is irresponsible even now to throw away waste everywhere. And I remember those dark times when people used to go on picnic and throw away everything around themselves where they. And you know what happens now? There are people who go to all those locations to gather waste. So all their free time they spend just to go to those locations and gather the waste. They are true heroes, and therefore they also popularize all this process. And I have noticed that people now actually feel shame, and when they go on picnic and spend time in open air, afterwards they gather everything that is waste and throw it away where needed. And the way it used to be, it's not cool. You just throw rubbish around yourself and that's it. So I believe that with time, our task is not simply to do something good, but also to show an example that it is important, it is needed, and people will definitely feel ashamed to go on living like they used to. And some people throw something out of the windows. I've seen that. Can you imagine that? And sometimes they throw away even something heavy. Some, I don't know, a bottle, a glass bottle. It was awful. So even some small object with acceleration can hit you truly a lot. So you do not simply harm the planet, but also you can hurt somebody. So guys, that's not serious. Please try to be more responsible. There is another thing. Large companies, and ESG is about them, also treat this responsibly. You know, there is this zero trace, zero carbon trace story. So all companies are interested in non-harming environment, and Sber cares about nature and supports social projects. You can learn about that at Zberegi Planetu, Save the Planet platform. That is a special web portal where you can learn what Sber does and how you can help to save our planet. There, they explain in simple words what sustainable development is and how we all together influence this process and what happens with the environment. You can learn all the detail in Save the Planet's Beregi Planetu portal, web portal, and you can use this hashtag Save the Planet and QR code to go there. We need to save everything. Forests and waters, oceans. So you can go to this web portal and you can also find all the pictures and materials of our present meeting today. So if you decide to dispose of plastic or other waste, please don't feel shy and talk about it. There's a special hashtag, Save the Planet, and you can share it with your friends and you would be great. And do you know that Sber also accepts old banking cards? That is again plastic. It's not simply plastic, there is a magnet strip. Yes, I know that it is composed of many different things. So yes, it is not that good at all. So in one of 13,000 ATMs of Sber or one of the offices of Sber, you can dispose of the card, which is old. Don't use a blocked card. That is a confidential story, so you can dispose of it. And can you imagine, last year, 15 tons of plastic was recycled thanks to Sber. This year, I'm sorry, 15,000 tons of plastic was recycled thanks to this project, thanks to this program. And it could have been buried in our earth, polluting the environment as well. And Sber is also actively investing in green projects, developing volunteer movements. So it does truly a lot, and that is significant as they help the environment with these small steps. We can all make our contribution. That is really great. So you can see that large companies do something important and something needed to solve these issues, and we personally can also influence that. And you know, many people think that large companies, do it just for the sake of marketing and advertising. Why do they need all this tax around it? Yes, that's the point. Without investing too much, but with this good signage of them being responsible and important. But I can tell you frankly that after having talked to all these people, that they are inspired. They do not do it just to put a tick. They feel responsible. When you have resources, when you have covered your basic needs, when you feel good, you start thinking further. You start thinking about the planet, about the people, about how to live on. You would like to live a positive life after yourself. And you know, all these rich guys, when they start different foundations and funds, when they invest into charity, that is not an attempt of scoring more social popularity points, but that is an attempt to implement your potential, to be happy. For example, after you have bought a car, a yacht, 8 houses, eaten everything in the world, that does not make you happy. But helping people does. And if very rich people and large companies think about it, why should not we do that? But people at some stages naturally have other needs. It's hard to think about great things and the environment when you don't know what you will eat tomorrow. Yes, I believe that is close to many. But still, if you think about it globally, if you see the big picture, I wouldn't like to follow all those internet chit-chats, but if you think about it, you can move on. And you have this brilliant hashtag for that, hashtag Sberegi Planetu or hashtag Save the Planet. Scan the QR code and post your stories there, and Makha and I will go there and like that, and we will see and monitor how you treat this hashtag. And I believe that guys can even write their own stories, share their own example of how they help the planet. So again, it all depends on your imagination. If you are now sitting with a plastic bottle, try to think of what to do with it and share it with us using this hashtag, and we will like it. And we have learned that there are different options of our actions. We can sort, or like Makha has said, you can give a new life, a new sense to an old object. Yes, that's truly interesting. And, the internet is something that a lot of people say negative things about, that it is dirty and so on and so forth. But you look in the wrong direction. You need to go online with some willingness to learn something new and interesting things. And that is a great example of that. And I'm now having a prompt that our artificial intelligence has gathered our digital art object. Would you like to see what do we have? Yes, I would. So here it is. Here is the picture, and that is the touch of nature and technologies. And can you imagine that it has gathered it from all these brilliant images? You can download it using the QR code. You can zoom in, study it, and the most interesting thing will be to find your own image, the picture that you have sent. I would like to find mine. It should be somewhere there. I believe the most attentive ones will do it. So you see, people are inspired by nature. We asked to send us something what inspires you, mountains or other elements, and the picture is truly nice. I love technologies, but even I adore nature. Combination is the point. Yes, guys, study new technologies, but don't forget that it's better to sit under a big green tree with your smartphone than in a space suit in a desert. Dear friends, save the planet together with us. Be responsible. See you ahead in the future. And dear friends, you can download the picture using the QR code. Yes, you can download this digital piece of art. You can zoom in. You can have a look at all the details. So the result is truly interesting. I believe we're good guys. We have learned something new. We have taken part in a quiz. We came up with this joint picture. Did you like it? Yes, I did. I believe now I will sit thinking how to treat this seriously. Yes, we have shared it. And now inside ourselves we need to really digest it. Yes, so we need to sort it all out, to clean all the cups. Now we will go offline and sort it all out, and so on. And this cup is truly nice. Don't forget about it. Yes, it's cool. Okay, that's it, guys. See you. Bye-bye.
Что ж, спасибо огромное, Вилсон, Маха.
Thank you very much, Wilson, Makha. That was truly great, and I hope that all those who have seen this unpacking and sorting and have taken part in this brilliant digital piece of art creation. By the way, you can download it using the QR code and you can post it in your social media. I hope you enjoyed it. And now we're going to have a small pause and then we will get back to you. We have a lot of interesting things ahead.